Money makes the world go round, as the song from the musical Cabaret goes. Business is truly fundamental to how the world operates. It's commonly thought that businesses focus only on their bottom lines, doing whatever it takes to make the biggest profits possible. And business practices over the centuries have used and overused and even abused the environment's natural resources. If businesses don't change how they use natural resources to start treating our environment respectfully, the environment won't be able to sustain its natural resources, and subsequently, human health will be negatively affected. Because of the power businesses have, businesses are the ones who have the power to save the environment. It's been found that when businesses operate in ways that are environmentally sustainable, it actually helps them, and it even increases their profits. Kimberly Robertella Glinka is the Assistant Director of Marketing and Sustainability at the Robert H. Smith School of Business Center for Social Value Creation.
Everything we are, everything we do, every potential of our future is all founded on this one finite planet with its limited resources. And to think that business operates outside of the context to these limited resources is just crazy. As the population continues to expand, world resources continue to diminish, it's absolutely going to be an everyday problem for every business sooner or later. So why don't we just recognize that now and start planning for it in a way that's smart and sustainable? And when I say sustainable, I don't mean this from the purely environmental sustainability perspective. I mean, these are business people that are interested in staying in business. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about how respecting our environment and our resources and being smart about the things that we do actually lends toward business longevity as well.
One aspect of the environment that's very important to protect is biodiversity. Biodiversity has to do with not only genetic variation within a particular species, but also the presence of many different species within an ecosystem, working together and being interdependent on each other within that ecosystem. All businesses, whether they manufacture food or shoes, require healthy ecosystems and strong biodiversity to have healthy bottom lines. Glinka describes a prime example of the importance of diversity across different species within an ecosystem, the growing of crops that become food we depend on to keep us healthy.
In the example of pollinators, the honeybees in particular have been going through a rapid collapse and decline in recent years. I think it's somewhere between the last, maybe three to 7 years, we've seen a really significant drop-off. The reason that's important is because the vast majority of the food that we see across our table every day is supported by these natural pollinators. As they continue to decline, it has a significant impact on the products we purchase, the food that's available to us, and overall just the larger consideration of nutrition and health and feeding a planet of 6 billion people.
Researchers aren't sure yet why honeybee populations are under so much stress, but if they continue to diminish, agriculture businesses will have to hire people to pollinate crops by hand. That would add an additional cost to their bottom lines every year. The honeybees are an example of how businesses can save future ongoing expenses by investing now to help save natural resources while they're still plentiful. So what's holding businesses back from being sustainable? Glinka offers some ideas.
I think the reason why more businesses are not sustainable these days is that it boils down to a couple different factors. One is perception. Two is a lack of understanding. So starting with perception, I think there's maybe a misperception on many people's part that being sustainable or taking sustainability practices in-house automatically means that that's going to come at a higher cost, and it's immediately written off because most businesses are motivated purely by the bottom line.
Sally DeLeon is from the University of Maryland's Office of Sustainability. She suggests that maybe more businesses aren't sustainable because even though there's a payback for helping the environment, some specific sustainability practices don't have a clear payback.
Some aspects of being a sustainable business have clear financial benefits, and some of them don't necessarily have a payback. Like, for example, in our region, conserving water and reducing water usage, if that involves a heavy investment in the infrastructure, like you'd have to swap out all of the faucets in the building and fixtures, and that's going to cost a lot, and then it's going to take a very long time to pay back, because in our region water is plentiful and relatively cheap. And so it might be harder for the business to justify that expense to shareholders.
Is there anything that we consumers can do to help? Or is it all in the hands of businesses? Both Glinka and DeLeon say yes, we can help. Glinka says we consumers should vote with our dollars by buying products made by businesses that are operating in environmentally sustainable ways. Businesses do not need to be at odds with the environment. We consumers can buy from businesses that are going beyond focusing only on the bottom line to adopting the triple bottom line: profit, planet, and people. That way, we consumers will be doing our part to help those businesses sustain themselves, sustain our planet, and sustain us.